I was looking post-pandemic to get back to volunteering, and the last few months had several either close relatives or friends that had babies born with severe anomalies and were at Children's for many months, and I thought maybe that's a good place to start. So I looked into the Ronald McDonald House, went down and interviewed, thinking I would work at the house, and decided, you know what, I wanted to be a little closer to home. And when I heard that this was working with families who had babies in the NICU, I thought, I think that's the place for me. I was a nurse for 10 years up until I got pregnant with our first daughter, and had the pleasure of being a stay-at-home mom and being involved with my two daughters and volunteering at their schools and what other activities that they did. And I continued that up until the start of the pandemic at their elementary school. And after the pandemic, I thought, I need to maybe spread my wings and maybe get back a little bit to my roots of nursing and being in the hospital, but not hands-on nursing. And as a student, I had clinicals at Children's Hospital. And not only that, in the last probably year and a half, had several close family members and a couple of friends whose babies or grandchildren were born with severe congenital anomalies, and thought, oh my gosh, heard the wonderful impact that Children's had on their lives, and the staff, the outreach, the services that are provided to families. And it kind of got me going back to when I was a student, and it's like, how lucky are we to have such an incredible facility right in our backyard, and how blessed my husband and I that we had two healthy girls, that we did not have to use those facilities, but we always knew they were there if we ever needed to use them. So then, kind of getting back to how I volunteered, I thought I just wanted to work for Ronald McDonald House, knowing the services they provided. And my husband and I still live in Powell, and when I saw that there was an opportunity to volunteer here at Riverside in the lounge, it was a little closer to home, and yet I was still meeting the needs of helping those who have sick babies and have other little ones at home, or just need a respite area just to kind of get away from all that, to come in and get a cup of coffee, have a cookie, sit down in a lounge chair and either check your phone messages. We've even had dads do Zoom calls for work, bring the older siblings into play while mom is doing something with the newborn, and then they can go in and meet their new brother or sister. It's just been a good fit for me. They were both in the same day. There were two family members that came in, and this gentleman was talking on the phone to the mother of the baby that was here. She was home tending to a kindergartner, I believe. And he got off the phone and he had said, oh, we just moved into an apartment. He said, I don't know what we were going to do when this baby that was in the NICU was born. We were homeless. After my wife was discharged and the baby was here, we had to go to a homeless shelter with, I believe, our 6-year-old. And we were trying to find some place to live because we couldn't bring a newborn to a shelter. And so he said we were able to find an apartment that we could afford. And so we're kind of scrambling to get it together to bring our new baby home. And I kind of forget about that there are families that don't go home to this ideal life that I'm blessed to have. And I remember that the dad apologized. He said, I'm sorry, you don't need to listen to mine. And I said, I can just listen. am happy to always do that. I can't provide answers, but I'm happy to listen because I believe we all need someone to listen to us. And then later that day, there was a mom, and I think her baby was here for 34 days. And it was a similar situation. She had lost her job. She had to move back home with her parents. And you could tell that that was probably like a hard thing to do. To think that here I'm this mom, I have this little one that I'm responsible now, but yet I'm moving back home. And she said, but I'm really grateful that my parents are letting us do that. And she said, I just got to eat my dinner quick, go see the baby, and then she worked third shift. So those were probably the stories that really kind of tugged at my heart. But there's also been families that I volunteer every other Tuesday, and a mom and a dad came the day that the baby, the dad, I'm sorry, because patients aren't allowed in here, but the dad came in the day that the baby was born, and they were premature. They knew the baby would go to NICU, and he said, we'll probably go home in 3 to 4 days. And so I said, well, I just volunteer every other week, and I wish you luck. And they were here the following Tuesday that I worked, and he said, just having some feeding issues, keeping formula down, finding the right formula, and they were here for a total of 3 weeks. It's just nice they can come in. We have a refrigerator, so they can put food from home and heat up meals here. Several families stop and get Chipotle or whatever, and just whenever they want, put your name on it and the date, put it in the refrigerator, then they can come in and reheat it and just kind of eat it in a more home-like setting. In volunteering here, it can be quiet at times, but I bring my iPad, I bring a book to read. I'm sure, because I see items that have been knitted or crocheted, so you would definitely have time to do that. But then there are other times, a couple weeks ago I worked, and we were fairly busy. I had 3 different family members here. A mom who was inpatient had an accident on some of her clothes. Dad brought them down. We have washer dryer facilities here. Another mom, she worked night shift. She came in and used our shower and got dressed before she went to see her newborn. There's so much to offer the families, and it can be steadily busy or it can be very quiet. Some families want to engage with you, and we've had some nice conversations, and others, this is just their respite time. This is, hey, you know what, I need to get away from all that's going on the other side of the store, and you feel that. I just think you just have to be a people person. You don't have to have any kind of background, I don't think, in medicine. You just have to like people and just be available to help.